for this workout, we will be using kettlebell, just for the swing mostly and a few presses. But I will explain how you can just use your body weight and starting out with very simple, basic kettlebell moves. And we're going to be training your arms, your upper body, your back, and your core, definitely, because that's how we fortify your back, your spine, and harnessing the power of this large muscle group, the posterior chain. Putting it all together in this workout, I trust you will enjoy. So we're gonna start by making sure we have our water, of course, and then we're just gonna get into a bit of a lower stance, and we're gonna shuffle side to side, shuffle side to side, just getting into it, getting in the zone, thinking about the work that we're gonna do. It's gonna be short, probably sweaty, that's okay. And if not, if you're not sweaty, that could be okay too, but it might mean you might need to challenge yourself with a slightly higher weight or going slightly faster. Then when I reach one side, I'm gonna pivot with my hips turning slightly. Then on the other side, start to pivot, side to side, and the heel then can come up and you can do a full pivot right there. And then already getting your hips engaged in this workout, okay? So we're gonna have a lot of fun, and I will review the swing basics in a few moments. Good, and then we're gonna crouch lower and just kind of go side to side, so more of a knee bend, getting low, and at every moment being aware of how our body's feeling. If we're feeling a bit of slight uncomfortableness, that can be okay, but if there's ever pain, we would pull back and do a modification. So you can walk your hands over side to side here in this nice little, some people might call it a referee stretch because they're bending low and they're in a bit of a huddle with the team or something and just talking amongst themselves. But side to side, we're gonna use the power in our lower body. We're definitely gonna train the upper body, and through it all, we're gonna be increasing our mobility, how we enjoy using our body throughout our life. Okay, so after that, we are going to go up and down 3 times. This is a bit of a brain workout too, because I want you to figure out how you can get up and down off of the floor, off of the ground in your area 3 times. So maybe you're gonna step back, put your hands back, lower yourself down. I'm down, my chest is down. Then you're gonna push off. Now I want you to figure out how to get down so that your back is on the ground. So how are you gonna do that? You're gonna come down, perhaps. This is one way to do it. There are many ways. You can, when you advance, when you've done this workout many times, you can figure out how to do it with no hands. Okay, that's one way to do it. You can control, you can slow down, and in the later part of this workout, I will be going over another way to do it, and then of course on the opposite side. So just try that right now. Try your favorite ways to get up and down. And last of all, we want to make sure that these glutes, the gluteus muscle group right there in the posterior, we want to make sure they're activated. So how do we do that? Get on the ground, raise up those hips. And if you want to stick a kettlebell or something not too tall that will help you remember pushing through your heels so that it doesn't, you're not sagging through your butt, and also check how far out your feet are so that you're not using too much of your hamstrings. We want to focus on the glutes. And now hamstrings are important too, of course. But for everything coming up, we're really focusing on the powerhouse of the body to generate the force. We're going to be exploding out during the swing in just a minute. So you can keep it up and then set your hips down. Then you can bring it up for 5. You can point up to the sky to remember lifting, raising, pushing through your heels every time. And I don't want to forget, throughout this entire workout, we're breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Why do we do this? Because it helps us control our physical response to this good stress that we're subjecting ourselves to with a purpose. Of course, now I got my kettlebell here, and this is what we're doing. First of all, we're going to review how to do the swing. So maybe you've done it before, and in any case, it's about your hip hinge, and it's about finding your hips, then leaning forward, folding over at your hips. Slight bend in the knees is fine. That's fine. But mostly through the hips. Can you see that? The hips are setting back farther than the knees. And then you can put your hands on the bell. And if your back is hunched like this, over time you'll get stronger, you'll get more in tune with your body, and some great ways to move it. And for your spinal mobility, your shoulders are setting back, so I don't really want the shoulders near the ears like this, okay? If you can try to set the shoulders down, then you would grab the handle, and then just to get into it again, you can practice without the bell. You can practice putting your hands here, then there, then behind, in front, underneath, and behind. Go through that sequence a few times. And because when we pick up the bell, we're going to be picking it up in a few moments. We're going to be exploding out, and we're not going to be using our arms. We're using the butt, right? That's why we activated those muscles just a minute ago. So we're going to be swinging, just until it comes shoulder height, then it falls right back down. We're not going to stop here, because that would mean you're holding it out with your arms, and that's not what's happening here. We're going to be picking up the bell and swinging it behind the knees, then exploding out. And as it does it, this is the crucial part, as we come forward, the bell comes forward, that's when you're going to give your hips, they're going to pop, because you're squeezing your glutes right about here. You're going to be squeezing the glute right there, and that is what is going to be doing the work. Then it falls back down. So this is what it's going to look like. You can definitely try it without the bell first. Okay, and how heavy of a bell? Well, you can start with a lighter one, especially if it's your first time or you're reviewing. You can start with your water bottle. Back and powerfully exploding with your hips. You're going to squeeze your buns. You're going to squeeze your buns every time. And we're not using our arms to hold up the bell. That's why sometimes a heavier one is better, right? Because you won't be tempted to use your arms. You can do this, but you don't want to do that. But it's a little harder when you have a heavier bell, right? And that reminds you, you're not supposed to be using your arms. You're supposed to be using the posterior chain. And you'll notice when you get into the swing, which we're going to do in a minute, your cardiovascular system is being trained at the same time. That's why it's a great total part of a total body workout. It does so many great things for us. So your feet are about shoulder width apart, toes slightly out. Put your hands on the bell, tip it back, cut the slack, Get ready to go. We're gonna go. We're gonna go. We're gonna swing. We're gonna be smiling and swinging at the same time and squeezing, popping the hips. Swing with me and have some fun. This is how we start out. We're gonna come back to it too. We're gonna practice. My eye is on the clock. We got a good little interval going here. And we're swinging on this beautiful day here in Mexico. It looks like a resort here. Got the green grass. Maybe you heard the flowers. Keep it going, a few more seconds. Just about, or you heard the birds. What did I say? Something funny, okay. And set it back down by coming behind and then release. Right in front, good. Now I keep clapping because I'm excited to do this workout with you. And we're gonna train, we're not gonna forget about our glutes. We're not gonna forget about our quads rather, but just in everyday life, we probably tend to rely on them more. That's why we're so big on harnessing the muscles on the posterior, because that is what's gonna train your core. When we're swinging, that was definitely training the core too. Okay, make no mistake. And now I'm gonna get a slightly less heavy bell, and I'm going to, but you have to choose the right weight for you. Make sure that it's challenging, but I don't want you to be exhausted after this first minute. If you are, you just take a slightly longer break. Hit pause, listen to your body. That's part of listening to your body, as people are fond of saying when you're doing exercise. Then I'm gonna lie down with my feet down, the hands are on the handle of the bell, and I'm just gonna press up from the chest for about 5 presses, keeping the eye on the bell. And you don't actually have to use any weight here at all to start. You could just use your water bottle. Now I am making sure that my back is flat on the ground. So I think I did 5, because I was talking at the same time. And then I'm going to sit up. You can put the bell down and help yourself sit up. And then with a nice proud chest, so I'm not, hunched over like this, but I got a nice posture, legs are spread apart. And then I'm gonna press it overhead like this too. Now my core is stabilizing this motion, okay? So that power is actually coming from the core, and I'm holding the bell, gripping it on the horns here. That's one way to grip the bell. There's more than one way, but that's what we're using right now. Seated. Then I'm going to put the bell down, come up, because it's like we're going on a ladder. We're going on an elevator. We're down on the ground. Now we're coming up higher and higher. Now I'm going to do 5 in this half kneeling position. I'm going to move further back. Half kneeling position. If you need to put something soft under your knee, go ahead and do that, or double up on the mats. I'm on the ground in my bare feet. That's what I like. If you've been with me for a while, or even a short amount of time, I like to talk about bare feet, raising it overhead, raising it overhead. Doesn't have to be fast. I'd rather that you were thinking about all the muscles that are being activated through your back and shoulders. A lot of shoulder work here. Then, of course, on the opposite side, turn your knee in, put your leg, raise the other knee, and on this side, really stabilizing around the middle here, right? As the arms are coming up, I'm really keeping this strong and secure through here. And I have this foot flat on the ground, but if you want to add another point of stability, you can always prop your toes up, get a little bit of toe mobility in there too, by pressing your toes into the ground. That's a great idea. I don't mind. And do about 5. Then we can be standing. And we're just gonna have a nice stance and putting the bell overhead, up and down. And if it's too easy, too light, you're not doing much good for yourself. So when it is easy and you think, hey, I could do twice as many, then that's a signal that it's time to move up in weight, because we want the progressive overload. We want to be challenging your body. Now for this movement, it's called a sumo squat. So we do need a bit of a wider stance. And as you know, I lived in Japan, you might know. But when my group of fellow teachers were going to see the sumo wrestling in the capital, I didn't go. It didn't really interest me, and here I am doing sumo squats, about to show you how to do sumo squats. But I should have gone, because they actually saw members of the royal family at that particular sumo wrestling event. Anyway, can't do anything about it now. Can't turn back time, which is why I'm glad that you're doing this workout today. So wherever you are, whatever day you want to start, that's the first day of the rest of your life. You can continue on day after day, little by little, adding those good habits and enjoying your life. So sumo stance, a little bit wider, toes a little bit apart, widened outwardly, or they can be straight ahead. And you can also support yourself too. So if you wanted to support yourself against the wall, and just dip as far as you can, no weight, okay? And the point is to keep your knees apart, okay? We don't want the knees to cave in. That would indicate some weak legs, and that we want to build up the legs. So keep the knees apart, keep your chest upright. Weight is in the heels, but of course in the other parts. Your foot too, and your feet are gripping the ground. That's why I like barefoot, because you can really grip the ground. Just take it slow, and if you're able to come deeper for your knees, you can, and also using your butt on the way back up, okay? That's your little tip to come back up. Now, if you've been doing this workout several times, and it's been several weeks, and you feel like you need more of a challenge, then you can add a weight. Grip it right here. Still have a nice wide stance to remind you to come with your knees apart. Knees apart, squeezing the butt on the way up. Okay, that's how we're strengthening. This bell is held to the chest. The elbows in. Not too high, not too low. Right about here. And just like that. Then, over time, that becomes easier. So you want to progress. So then you can add another slightly higher weight, just incrementally higher weight. And you can add more reps too. There's different ways to increase the difficulty level. But the other thing I wanted to show you is you can also try a different grip, because grip strength, you may or may not know, it is an indication of longevity. So you can try a grip like this, upside down, goblet, like this, holding the belly of the bell, just like this. Different ways, but still the same form as the regular unloaded, that means no weight, sumo squat, which is slightly wider stance. It's great for beginners or people less familiar to training or less familiar to kettlebells. Then you just coming down. So make sure we always have good form. And if you ever feel like your form is getting a bit off point, then that's when you stop. That's when you pull back from that movement and just rest, recover, maybe go over the cues for the form. Now we're gonna have a little bit of fast feet, fast feet, fast feet. Tap, 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 side to side, right to left, right to left. Just in one place. You can go low, you can be low down here, that's more difficult. Or you can be just right here. And your middle is pretty stable right here in the core, then you might want to touch the ground. Touch the ground. Then you can come to the other side and the other side. Still breathing through my nose. That's right. Around like this. Don't lose my step on this uneven ground. But down and down. Then you might want to rotate. Rotate. Now rotate the other direction. Fast feet, still fast feet. Almost done. 10 more seconds. Keep it up, keep it up. Down, down, and time. Very good. Good job. For this active recovery, after that fast feet we just did, it's good to stay on your feet until your breath is a little more evened out. And then when you're ready, you can come down. Don't want anyone to feel lightheaded, so when you're ready, you can come down to your hands and knees. And we're going to do a movement that's really good for your lower back. And you can just extend one leg out and try to do a little check to see if your hips are even here. We would like them to be even because that is telling me that you're using this glute muscle to get this leg up. Okay, and you're trying to stay on the balanced hands and feet. Now you can also raise the opposite arm to the leg that's extended. You don't have to lift it higher than your spine, okay? It should be in alignment, or even lower would be fine. And then you can even bring the knee and the elbow together for about 5 reps. Then of course we're going to do the other side. This is how we're strengthening the core and also this cross body pattern. So when I have this opposite arm to this other leg, then that is very good for our brains even. And you notice that again, this toe is propping me up. You can leave both hands on the ground and just work on this one and work on leveling out the hips. Okay, you don't need to do the other ones unless you are ready and willing to do them. Okay, and that's where you get a chance to progress and to keep going when your body has already adapted to what you were asking it to do before. And then in that way you keep transforming your body and getting stronger. That's what you want. Getting more mobile. The ability to move through your life and all these different actions with the ease, comfort, and confidence that you deserve. It's called body ownership, right? Knowing what you can do. And you do it properly without fear of injury, without fear of pain, without fear of your future, chronic illness. Because why? You're fortifying your body. And these are what we're doing today. What you're going to keep on doing is all contributing to that, making yourself more confident, enjoying your life more too. That's what I want for you. So let's get into swinging. I'm going to watch the clock, pick up the bell, start swinging the bell, and remember, use the weight that is appropriate for you. We still want energy to complete the rest of the workout with good form. Okay, you can take longer breaks as necessary. You can pause it. That's fine idea, fine by me. Just keep on exploding out. This is called ballistic motion. Ballistic. We got about 15 more seconds. Breathing through the nose. This is your straight, full mobility swing, and I'm going to put it down on the ground after I came back. Okay, we're down on the ground now for this minute of movement, and it's getting hot out here. I'm in the shade. Don't forget to hydrate, little sips, and hopefully you had some water before we even started. So you started on a good level of hydration. This is a side plank, and why are we doing this? to really, and just from the knees too. This is purposefully done from the knees. It's sports science. It's one of the McGill Big Three to alleviate lower back pain by fortifying your midsection. All this. It's not just abs. It's not just abdominals. It's obliques. It's your back muscles. So we're holding it here for about 5 to 20 seconds. I'm on this forearm, and you can point up if you want to remind your hips not to sag like I just did right there, but we're keeping it there. And I'm just gonna go for 4 more seconds. 3, 2, 1, time. Then I'm gonna scoot over on this side so we can gaze at each other while we're strengthening our middle. And now I'm watching the clock again. And if you need to go for a shorter time than I do, then that's fine. Set your hip down and come up strong in this movement, and then try to go up again for maybe 5 more seconds. Okay? Good.